Why on earth would she even have that lever?
We're live, by the way. Hi.
We're live!
Hey. Alice!
So there was no music because Streamlabs crashed the audio file. So hey, how y'all doing? Sorry about that. It's working perfectly fine. I don't know. It just had a heart attack. There was music, it just wasn't playing. My bad. How y'all doing today?
Hi, everyone. Kitty, kitty, kitty. And the ADHD has already kicked in. Hello
I'm
and welcome,
watching
everyone.
it back and I realised that we were live for quite a while before you told us.
Not that long, but like 10 seconds.
I can't
That's long enough.
hear. Oh,
I heard her bell. Where is
yeah,
she?
never mind. I can't hear. I just forgot I muted the tap. That doesn't help.
So, hi everyone, welcome. We're the Stormy
Hi.
Dragon Tavern. We're playing Trials of the Xel'nari, which is a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition game with a few little homebrew rules thrown in there and to spice things up.
Dungeons and Dragons.
In the last session, technically nothing happened at all, or at least that they can remember.
Oh.
No,
Oh,
that
yeah,
is
I forgot
factually
about that.
incorrect.
Plenty of
We
things
went bell
happened. We
ringing.
just don't know
Yeah.
what.
The party has gone to the religious district to speak with the priest of Eldath, who was there, who they had seen at the palace district with scratch marks all up his arm. Upon discussing with the priest, they found out that things have been progressing in the city, and they are concerned that it could potentially be a curse. Putting two and two together, the party has decided that the unknown demon enemy is clearly behind it, as their presence has been in the city, and they know that they have been messing with curses previously. However, upon going up into the bell tower to speak with the priest, well, he continued his duties. He rang the bell, which deafened a few of the players, which allowed them to see a gigantic creature, well, actually multiple gigantic creatures, breaking out of the ground, their long, elongated heads snapping up people from the ground. Except everyone around them seemed to just be going about their day, even as the person standing next to them was snapped up and eaten.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah,
That's what you
Sam was
That's what you
oblivious.
get for being a perceptive bitch.
I
To the
am.
party.
No, hang on. I'm super perceptive. I have like a +10 or something to perception. I still failed.
Yeah, you rolled like ass.
I did.
But in this instance, you weren't a perceptive bitch.
Anyway, Ash.
Yes. Two of the party attempted to go after the creature to stop it from attacking the village, but as soon as they went out of the ringing sound of the bells and were able to hear again, they instantly lost sight of the creature and even forgot that it was there, forgot that there was a reason for them to rush out of the tower. A few of them had the quick wits about them to take out pen and paper, or quill and paper, I should say, or use magic to quickly make a copy of the creature, or draw where the creature was, or write down some information about what they'd seen, knowing that when the bell stopped ringing, the creature would disappear. And this is exactly what has happened. Now we are at the aftermath of that, where the party has just come down from the bell tower and are collaborating their evidence that they have found to try and work out exactly what it is they are dealing with. None of them have ever seen a creature like this before or heard of something similar to it. They've heard of some spells that can have some similar mind-altering effects, but they are not sure exactly what they are dealing with yet. So we'll continue from there.
All right.
Is there a table in here?
Yes, there'd be some tables up against the wall, probably laden with candles.
I imagine, for the sake of narrative fun times, we've gone to a table, pushed candles back, and have our evidence just all on the table in front of us to ponder.
Wait, where are we at the moment again?
At
You
the
are
chapel
on the
still, church.
ground floor of the chapel, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the Xel'nari headquarters, the Xel'nari building.
I agree. This is a bit perhaps sensitive to tally about here.
You may be right. Are we in danger? I'm
Always. Every waking moment and twice as much while we sleep.
You are so helpful, Mug. Thank you.
I mean, the problem is we won't know. It seems.
I
Sorry. First of all, don't forget that you have the text and images on the coins.
Yeah. No, I do remember that.
Cool.
I find our lack of recollection very distressing, especially given what it is that we perceived.
Storm is very intently looking over everything that's in front of them.
Yeah, because I know you wrote notes, I wrote notes.
Mm-hmm. Except hers was in cat, so she's the only person that understands her own notes.
Yeah, but I was definitely writing notes to say whatever you've written, because I couldn't see what you were writing. So whatever you've written down is probably going to be true, like finding ways to make sure that when I was to read it back again, I wouldn't be, this is garbage. You know how that kind of like, oh, I couldn't have possibly written this, and then you see that one thing, you're like, oh no, I did write this. That sort of thing.
Fair. I agree that returning to HQ will be the safer option. Storm,
Yes.
once we arrive there, would you be able to transfer your notes into common?
Why can you not read it yourself? I don't want to. It is just a waste of time.
Have to.
But it is just a waste of time. We have more important things to be doing, like maybe going and finding information about all of these things.
Yeah,
Which
we
we
can't
can't do if we can't read what you've written down.
But magic.
I can do
But-
it, But
See,
it-
Kovic has done it
it-
before.
but it will take me 10 minutes just to be able to do it. You
Where
can read
you
it
can-
by default.
You could rewrite it in like 1 minute, 2 minutes.
No, common is more difficult than that.
Oh
Common
my
is
God.
common. It is the easiest thing to write.
No,
But if we're going back to HQ,
I thought I was
um,
supposed to be the ignorant one, not you.
Excuse me, I can read and write in Common, Draconic, and Gnomish. But just because
Okay.
I am more fluent in Gnomish doesn't mean I'm going to write down on it and assume that others should
Okay.
be able to read it.
But you have known common your whole life. I have only learned in the last 4 years. It is still very difficult, not... you know?
it's actually not all of our first language. You do know that, right?
my first language was Vidalcan.
In
Yes.
fact, to this particular party, it was no one's first language.
I'm aware that is not first language, but you have been speaking and writing it much longer than I have.
I know
Which
5
means
languages.
you need to catch up with your practice.
No!
Which
I
means
graduated!
writing it
I
down
don't want
in
to!
Common
This
makes
is the
it
thing.
easier to learn. And
Hello,
also,
Nova.
you never stop learning. You will always
This
learn
is-
something new every day.
So we've learned that Storm just thinks this is another form of, but I've already done school. I don't wanna do it all.
Oh yeah, she is not the studious type.
Being a world-saving hero sucks.
So much
Also,
paperwork.
if you can get this information in before Kovac can, then you'll have one over on Kovac. Just saying. 'Cause
If
you're
I
trying
read
think
it
about
to you,
how-
can you prescribe it, Kovac?
Yes, that is a good
Damn it.
that is a good compromise, and thank you for suggesting it.
Okay. But you should learn
Also,
to read
can't,
cat. You've known me for 4 years now. You should know some of it at least.
But you've been speaking cat your whole life. You've only just started to learn cat.
Yeah, and I don't make you rewrite things in cat so that I can understand them better.
That's
I
because
had-
we physically
Which is
can't.
easier for one person to practice and brush up on their common skills, or for 5, 6 more of us, if we have to then transcribe this to other people, to learn a completely new language that, as far as I can tell, that has no
Xantix.
syntax to the common tongue.
Uh,
Wait a
Xantix.
minute.
halfway
Are there
through that sentence, Antics, Storm has sat down, turned away from you, is licking her paws and grooming herself, and her tail is flicking. She's not paying attention to you. She is like blatantly ignoring you in the most cat way possible.
I mean,
Wait, isn't other cat people at the HQ who could also help with scribing this actually?
I don't believe so. Look,
They
Wait, no,
don't
they don't know how
common.
to speak common. Never mind.
If we're being honest, I find Dwarvish the easiest to learn, but as a language, it has the least amount of depth. Vidalcan is challenging to learn, but has a lot of depth.
I should teach you Orcish.
That could be very
Who are
entertaining.
you going to teach us the Orcish swears?
Yes.
Anyway, let us go to our headquarters, and we can converse in a more official capacity.
Also,
Before
if we're going to the headquarters, also go.
Before we go, I am going to ask one thing. She's gonna go over to the monk that was with her, with us, and ask him. Does any of this information look familiar to you? Or is there someone maybe better to ask? It seems that many of you have been plagued with, or a few of you at least, have been plagued with this circumstance before.
He looks at the images that you've presented and shakes his head. No, I don't recognize that creature.
I'm not
I
very
don't
much
think
an
I have seen
ad-
it before.
Sorry.
Maybe the fact that we can't recall what's going on, I don't think anyone will be able to tell us unless we can find it in books. Like some form of fairy tale, so to speak. To the library! Oh, I sound like Coco.
Before we go, Mr. Monk, you treat people that are unwell. Is that right?
Yes,
You
of
treat the
course.
sick or the people in need.
Yes, most definitely.
Is there anyone in your community of people who need assistance that are deaf? Naturally born deaf.
None that I have had to personally deal with. I'm sure there are a few amongst the town, especially some of the mason workers or the miners that do use blasting charges quite often. It's quite possible that they may have lost their hearing.
Mark, why do you ask for people with no hearing?
You will get a telepathic message saying they could be useful as an early detection system. But actually speaking, saying, oh, it is always good to look out for the most
Vulnerable.
vulnerable members of the community. They are often overlooked.
Her face absolutely gives her away. She gives this like really confused, disgruntled facial expression, but she doesn't say anything.
Another telepathic message: we would keep them safe, but they would be They could be incredibly useful to keep many others and us safe as well.
She just shrugs and goes back to the papers.
It's your canary.
I was about to say,
Yep.
we're going into a mine.
Yep. It's better than Samuel wild shaping into a canary.
I mean, one of us can do it. Technically, we could turn into a creature that is blind. Sorry, is deaf. I don't know what it is.
I think naked mole rats are deaf. Can't remember. Or they're
I'm
blind.
I don't
guessing
think anyone wants to see my
maybe
naked Morat.
a bunch of like aquatic creatures might be deaf.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, because I can canary by being aquatic. Glub
Yeah.
glub.
Like an octopus or something. We'll just like spray water on you to moisturize you.
Moisturize me.
me.
Moisturize me.
There are many things that you just said that are no. Just we're good. We're good. Cassandra.
I love her.
Oh, I love Cassandra as well. I know that.
All right. So you're making your way towards headquarters. Don't say it. I
Dang it.
I knew it.
I am training myself not to do that anymore.
I could see the look on your faces. It's too slow. But I understand. So yes, you are heading to Xel'nari HQ in town. Well, rather the embassy rather than the actual HQ itself. But you are...
Yes.
Is there some form of bottle shop or purveyor of alcoholic beverages, which is roughly on the way?
On the way, no.
Okay.
Because you would be passing through the religious district into the embassy district. There probably is. There would be an ale house somewhere in the embassy district, a more like higher end one for dignitary staying, but it would be one that typically you need an invitation or something showing your status as a member of the embassy to enter. Your Xel'nari, you already have that, so yes, you would be able to enter.
Well, I have that by proxy.
Yes, you're not Xel'nari, but
Yes.
All right.
Because I wanted to pick up, I believe there was a discussion of what type of alcohol should be consumed after the realization we've had, and absinthe was brought up.
Absinthe, more like absent.
Yes.
Just like your father in your childhood.
That's
Absinthe makes
literally
the
where my
heart grow
brain
fonder.
went, but the words didn't words. I was just like,
unfortunately, he was a bit too kind of present, but not in the good way.
to be fair, also Storm's father. Now that I think about it,
Yes.
Like
yes,
everyone in
hands
this
down.
party has daddy issues of some kind.
My father's a
I was
sweet
gonna say Kovac doesn't.
No, we currently do
Oh.
though, with what we've done to him.
Yeah.
Those are the issues that Kovac's gonna have to deal with.
Storm's father was physically absent. Kovac's father was emotionally absent. It's like.
Technically, Storm's father was present the entire time, just didn't make himself
Yeah.
known.
Just because you're there doesn't mean you're actually present and contributing.
Yeah.
And Kovac's
Hi,
father
am I being
was
called out on that?
emotionally there as far as Vidalkins are concerned.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
so it was
taught-
just a very low bar for acceptance.
Yes. Extremely low.
In fact, some would say that he was actually a bit overbearing. He was asked to tone it down a few times.
Dad, you're in my
He's-
space as they're standing in the like door frame, very patiently.
Dad, the
giving-
corner of your mouth has moved slightly up at 30 degrees. It's too much. It's too much.
We agreed, only 27 degrees.
27 degrees, not one higher.
Kovac's rebellious phase was reading a book in Elven.
She still does that though. She genuinely keeps a book of like smutty Elvish Downton Abbey on her person.
I love
Absolute
Smutty Elvish.
chill.
We've discussed this.
I still think that
I
you
don't
need
think
to
we did, young lady.
read a few excerpts from that at some point.
No one
Oh.
in the party speaks Elven, so it's really good for me.
get ChatGPT to write a chapter.
That
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
better.
I think this is what
That
we
would be
need. This is what we need.
dangerous.
Yes.
I
And
now,
that
I now
is-
want to see this though. Now I'm curious.
I'm loading up ChatGPT.
Oh god.
Not right now. We are getting
Not right now, no.
sidetracked.
So,
Do we make
will
it to the embassy?
Yes, you make it to the embassy. I mean, I hope so.
Nah.
Yes, no, you
Nah,
make
we're
it to the
good.
embassy.
Because we figured out
Um,
that'd be the best place for a library, right?
No, there is no library in the embassy. There would be libraries in the education sector and possibly one in the planetaria itself.
Are
you
there
could
any
also
wizards in the Xel'nari HQ?
Possibly.
Spell
It
book,
depends who is
spell
there
book.
currently.
Okay.
There is comings and goings all the time. There is generally a wizard on staff at all times who maintains the sending spells and the teleportation circles as well.
Okay.
But they may or may not be on duty at the time as you enter. Actually, as you enter the main hall of the Marble Hall, you do notice that it is rather sparse. With only 2 other members currently present and a few of the villagers, as well as an embassy member, having a discussion in one corner. But it's quite empty compared to the first time you came in here, where it was a bit more hustle and bustle.
Well, it's the evening time, which is fair.
I was expecting you asking if there are wizards around. My brain just went to the cheese tax song, and it's just the wizard tax for spell
Gotta
book.
show your spell book every time
Gotta
you get
show-
in.
Oh,
So, Xantix, would there be a
Thanks for
private
dumping
room or
rounds.
something that we could use here?
My office. Where
Excellent.
let's go.
Are there any larger chairs, like normal-sized ones?
Yes, you all sat in them when you first got here. I know it's been a busy few days since you arrived, but I'm a bit concerned if you've forgotten about that.
Oh, you wouldn't believe the things I've forgotten.
I sat on the floor.
You did.
Yes, let's go to Xantix's office and not be disturbed for a bit.
And I'm guessing when I get in there, there's like this nice tall stack of paperwork that I haven't been doing because I've been busy with everyone else, and I'm just looking at it and just going,
Haven't we
That's
only
future
been in
Xantix's
this?
problem.
Haven't we only been in this city for like 4 days or something?
Yeah, like it's not been that long.
Yeah, also, I'm pretty sure Storm was in the locket until she was forced to come out.
You mean the compass?
Oh, super. Oh, that's where she's been hiding. We gave her her flea treatment.
Wait, are you talking about Soba or Storm? It was literally a segue of like Storm being hiding out.
The results will surprise you.
We should be giving Storm some kind of flea treatment. I think
No!
she'd appreciate it.
Now!
Every
It's
now
called-
and then, just thunder wave, and you'll be fine.
No, it's called the occasional fireball that you're in the edge of.
She does
but
plenty
she's
of that.
a monk and just avoids all of it, so I don't think that counts.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I'll catch it.
Yes, but the fleas aren't.
My reflexes are very fast.
But if the thing the fleas are standing on are able to avoid the flames, does that not mean that the fleas riding that thing
No,
are also avoiding
It doesn't
the
say it
flames?
avoids the flames, it avoids the damage.
You know what this sounds like? It sounds like it needs a bath time.
Storm had a bath
So-
yesterday! She was very disgruntled about it.
Are we having the obligatory beach episode then?
Yeah.
Of every anime?
Is there really a beach at Tanzanite though?
Mm-mm.
There
There
can
is
be.
a harbor.
I
There's
don't do that.
got to be like some kind of small beach around here somewhere.
Yeah, and you
If-
know it would be like completely fenced off and like exclusive
Yeah.
to nobility only.
Mm-hmm.
No,
And
if
well,
you, cast,
Xel'nari, so fuck them.
if you cast Disintegrate on enough buildings, there'll be sand for the beach.
I want to say that's not how that works, but
Works.
unfortunately, that's exactly,
Exactly
how that
works.
So, you know.
The people will rise up.
All right, so you have made
So-
it to the Xel'nari HQ. It is
Mhm.
mostly empty. You've gone up to Xantix's office, and you've laid out the evidence that you have acquired so far.
Hmm.
So, did something happen?
I believe it did. Otherwise, why
Yeah.
else would we have produced this
Okay.
information?
None of you
I
can
wasn't
write.
there.
None of you can write in cat. I have no,
No.
recollection of writing this, but I have informed myself in my writings here that it is in fact something that happened.
Okay.
Do you have another explanation for this?
Nope.
Tell me what you wrote, and I will begin to dictate her notes into common.
Alice doesn't remember. So, please forgive me if I get it wrong from last session. But what I do remember, I will do my best to recollect.
Quickly, Alice, bring up the last episode and just skip to the part where you were writing down the notes.
And we're running up those notes.
You didn't really make that many notes. You mostly,
Mostly drew
drew a map
pictures?
of the locations that you saw the hits.
So,
I think there was a bit of a
No.
description
There
of
was.
what you saw.
So the first time she was scribbling pictures of stuff of what she saw. The second time she wrote a letter to herself saying that the drawings she had previously done were real and that there was something in the city that was eating the people and that she needs to find out what those creatures are so that she can figure out what's going on because no one seems to be able to see them. And no one's reacting to them, but they're there, and something weird is going on. And I have no recollection of drawing the pictures, but I can see them now. Basically, there's like somewhere along that gisty line of like telling herself she needs to go and do something about this. Because the second time and then she worked with Kovek to also plot out a better map of where things were.
Okay. So.
It wasn't anything too extensive. It was mostly just like giving herself a direction to go towards and like trying to just give herself as many clues of ways to be able to look into this later.
Identify, yeah.
Yeah.
Let us all ensure that we are on the same page. We traveled to the infrastructure sector and found that there was an individual being forced to keep the mines closed under threat of demonic repercussions. We then traveled to the religious district where we were deafened by the overwhelming sound of a bell and then somehow were able to see this.
So, are we assuming that
I didn't see that.
Well, according to my notes, I think you did see something, Mug. There was a transcript on this coin here where I'm describing where you went to you jumped out the window to charge at something, but then you stopped, confused why you were out there.
That
There's
does
one about me
actually
as well.
kind of sound like me.
There's one about me as well that describes something quite similar.
But I still don't remember doing any of that.
Nor do I remember recording these notes, and I know for a fact that I can't imagine something as hideous as this thing, and I point to the coin that has the head, the elongated neck and head.
And Storm grabs her piece of paper that's like a really crude sketch of it as well.
Yes.
And the fact that we both seem to have seen the same thing makes me believe it is not a mass hallucination.
No.
For we had very different experiences before meeting each other. I doubt we'd be able to see the exact same thing.
This is
If it was a
extremely-
hallucination and not something in reality that is affecting our memory.
You see,
Yeah.
it is not anything like the dream that we shared, where we all could recall the same things. It is like this, but different.
Yeah, Xantix wouldn't know
It's
about
very
that.
different.
I'm sorry, what dream?
Oh, don't
that
worry.
Never
We
mind.
we got drunk and had some side effects because the alcohol on my island is a little bit strong. Don't worry about it.
It's secret
It's fine, it's
Xel'nari
fine.
business. You don't need to know.
But
It's a giant sex orgy party. You don't want to know.
It was a big celebration of like the changing of this and that and the coming of new. You know what? The Mori is tradition of my people. You're probably not interested.
Either way, unfortunately, it's not important to this current setting. Looking at everything we've gotten, I'm still trying to work out if it's something that the bell was bringing on or the bell was stopping. Because there's something written in the notes like this happened when the bell was rung. So is it like say I know, but sounds like have we worked out if it's when the bell gets rung, that's when everything happens, or is the bell helping us from some other means?
I don't
Potentially,
know.
is it a calling chord?
may
But
I
they
do an Arcana or Nature check if I can recall any creatures that use auditory sound to disorientate or disable their prey?
You can definitely make a check like that. Either one.
I would
May
like to try and do an Arcana.
May I give you advantage?
I will happily take some advantage.
Is that by nodding and going, uh-huh?
No, we are both trained in Arcana. If it
Yeah,
begins
I have
like
guidance as a
to
cantrip?
to ponder out loud, I will contribute.
Well,
do not.
let's have a look. Do I want Flash of Genius for this one? Because I could use Flash of Genius. Yeah, I'm going to do Flash of Genius. So with Flash of Genius, leave me a total of plus 14 to the roll. That is a 27.
You said it. You've definitely heard of a few different creatures, especially in your time amongst the Xel'nari. You've actually dealt with one on one of your previous missions with your old group, being a harpy. That uses sound-based attacks to disorientate and manipulate their opponents. There are a few other creatures out there as well. One that comes to mind for you is a Yurthak, which is a huge mythical beast. It's something you've only ever read of, but you know that it too uses sound-based attacks like shockwaves and stuff.
I'm wondering, I think the bell for us may have just been a fortunate circumstance, because there are creatures out there that use sound to their advantage. For example, myself and my cohort, we dealt with a harpy, and as I'm sure you all may be aware, harpies use song to disorient and distract their prey until they can come upon and rip them to pieces, right?
Indeed.
Sure.
What if this creature or these creatures are emitting some sort of sound that, while that sound is going, they cannot be perceived?
So a camouflage.
Can we test this theory?
Well, the easiest way to would be to stop someone's hearing and then take a look outside and see if you can see something.
You have managed to create effects with your coins. Were we to find two appropriately sized pebbles, could you make those pebbles create an overwhelming noise, put one in each ear, and then just walk outside and see?
That sounds awfully disturbing. Why would you want to do that? And Storm just like puts her hands over her ears, like that's the most horrifying thing you could suggest.
I just gonna read the description first. Yeah, I think earmuffs would be considered a tiny non-magical object. Well,
like
if
not earmuffs,
I'm in
but like
luck,
earbuds.
and I just because it has to be one object. Earbuds would be two objects. I think I have, and I'm just gonna dig around quickly in the drawers and pull out. Oh yes, my time when I was in the mountains. It's cold up there, and I bring out these garishly colored like fluffy earmuffs. These I could enchant with I probably don't want to do too loud of a noise to start with. The last thing I want to do is actually damage someone's earbuds. But I could do. There's been some experimentation in the Scholarium about the effects of certain noises that wash out auditory stimuli and make it easier to sleep. And I have heard it before, and I think something like that. So let me and I'm going to quickly just rewrite the coin that talks about one of the notes onto paper. And as I do magical tinkering, I'm going to basically then let go of that effect on that. And on the earmuffs, I'm going to make them emit like a static white noise effect. So these over someone's ears may block out enough sound that it might just work. Who would
like that?
I'm happy to do it.
Oh.
I'll say either me or Mug, because we can talk telepathy. So we can watch
that is
and
a
then.
good point.
Yes. I'm not trying.
I think these will fit young. Does Xantix know about the gender sort of thing?
Nope.
The young master
Sam.
halfling here. Yeah, young Sam. Yeah.
So,
And yes,
I'm not going to try them on. I'm curious to Ash, like from a GM ruling, how audible is the white noise? From just like if somebody was walking down the street with these on, would heads be turning because of the noise?
No, I would say. I'd say that they fairly effectively direct it into the ears of the user.
Okay.
Ironically, you could get a couple of like drinking vessels to create echo chambers around the ears, and then you could have a trio of mugs.
Actually, before we do this and to fit on.
I could be completely on board with that.
Before it fits one of.
I'll hand them to Sam.
I'm having thoughts. So here's the thing. I have two thoughts. One, would they be able to fit over a giant eagle's head instead, or some form of bird?
I like that thought.
But someone will need to be within 30 feet. If it's giant eagle, someone can ride on my back, and I can relay the information to them, which might be very good, because I won't be able to get a good read. The other one, I was kind of wondering if it would work with my spell that lets me see, like, everything from above.
Don't you? So, with wild shape, don't you get to incorporate the things you're wearing into your person? So if you're wearing them as a half
that's a good point.
And then you wild shape, you're still wearing them, technically.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forget that's a thing. I've never really had to do it with
real quick.
new things.
But
I don't know if it would potentially also work with that spell that I have that allows me to see things from above, but I don't know if I have to already be under the effect or not under the effect for that to work. That might be a bit more complicated.
So here's another question. You said that you think it might be a creature that emits a sound, that if you hear the sound, you're affected by it.
Yes, that's the current theory.
So you would need to be close enough to hear the sound.
But from the description of the map that young Miss Storm has drawn here, it seems there are multiple of these creatures throughout the town.
Well,
so if there is a group of them doing this, there might be enough coverage for them to encompass the entire city, and we don't know how far this effect spreads.
But...
I mean, we were hearing it when we were up. We were not hearing it even when we were up at the tower. So, and I don't think that was particularly close to them, judging on where they were on the map. Yeah, there was something like much further away. So, in theory, this might work. In theory.
Well, what I was thinking of is, because if you're thinking about distance, the eagle could potentially be high enough that you're actually fairly far away, but with good enough vision to still see.
That's
so we
what
may
I'm thinking.
not need to be deafened. If we all changed into eagles.
it would be a bit worse on you guys because your mental states would be the same as an eagle's, whereas mine will remain as me.
I'd say put them on, become an eagle, and try by yourself, just to see.
I can be an eagle for an hour, so I
But
can.
maybe perhaps with Mug, because they do share that telepath. They can telepathically communicate with one another.
Hey,
I was
Ash,
gonna say Mug or Kovac. Yeah.
Yes.
we determined that Storm couldn't see someone who was invisible, but she could sense their magical presence. Is that correct?
Potentially. Not always. You would have to focus for it to happen.
That's what I'm saying. So she is gonna look out the window. Oh, like, are any of the locations for this creature kind of nearish to where they are? Because she's drawn a rough map. She just wants to look outside and see if she can sense the magic. She kind of like sort of did it earlier.
No. The closest one to you that you drew on your map was in the Grand Market.
Okay. She's sort of like concocting some ideas. She's nothing that she thinks is too solid, so she's not saying anything. But she's like, I mean, I guess it's worth a try, maybe.
Yeah.
She's still really skeptical about this. The only reason she even believes that things are going on is because she has notes in her own hand, in her own language that she knows no one else can read or write. That addresses herself to this situation, and it refers to her own drawings that she has done. So she's like,
There is
alright.
something swifty going
Yeah.
on here.
So she's just like, she's really uncertain and not really sure how to tackle this. Magic is not her strong suit.
We'll give it a go. Sam, while you're out, I'm gonna reach into my bag and pull out like a big fuzzy Russian-style ushanka. It's one of those like big traveling hats with the ear flaps and the ties on the bottom. It's part of Kovac's winter clothes that she
It
bought
sounds familiar.
bought a while ago, because like she has the flaps and says, Xantix, would you be able to do the same thing to this hat?
Yes, let me just write down the notes on this coin onto paper, and then I can do a different effect. And yes, I'll copy the notes onto that piece of paper, let go of that enchantment, and then the same white noise onto the Ushanka hat.
I'll try it on just to experience the sensation.
So the hat does not work as well as the earmuffs in the fact that you can definitely hear the white noise coming off it, even when you're not wearing the hat. But the effect is pretty substantial in that you can't hear the people around you talking while you have the hat on, the Ushanka on.
Okay. I'll.
Kovac, can you hear me?
I can hear your. I can see your mouth moving. I assume you're. Am I shouting?
You're getting some odd looks from the villagers in the building.
We're in the office.
Yeah, I know.
I'll take off the hat and go, that was quite effective.
Good
I just-
to know.
I'm just hoping that Samuel and Mug are okay, because I'm assuming at this point they've gone.
Well, we'll
Might
probably,
have, we might not have. Who's asking?
as we're heading up to the roof, assuming we are, I'll just say to Sam, so do you think we're going to scare the people in this town, or are they just going to think, oh, it's a giant bird, yeah, whatever?
Don't know, don't care.
Mm.
Valid.
We should swing past the Vidalcan Quarter. It'll be the most exciting thing that'll happen to them all day.
I'll definitely do something. Just keep
So them it would just be, oh yes, they must study this and pull out the notepad.
Oh, that bird's
All I
really
say is
close.
if anything really
gorgeous
happens
image.
here, then I'm only gonna have your notes to go off of, because if judging by what we've been writing down, I'm not gonna remember any of it, and there might even be a moment of me not remembering why I'm flying.
We
Just giving you a heads up.
Yeah, we can remember what happened before the thing. Like, I remember the attack and the assassin. I remember the queen. I remember saying we're going to go to the temple.
True, true. It's just
You
being
remember
prepared in case
being
I get startled or
outside
something.
and not
weird.
knowing how you got outside,
Yeah.
and then going back inside, and then coming back downstairs.
Okay, yeah. It's just on the off chance if something happens, just be prepared. It's...
Mm.
Be prepared. Alright.
Well, also, presumably, we will remember that we might not have memories. So if we end up not having memories, it's not going to be unusual because we'll remember before we didn't have memories, we thought we might not have memories.
Yeah.
And that'll be a memory that won't be messed with.
Yeah, that's what you mean. This should be, in theory.
This is getting very next level, and I'm here for it.
Either way, you're keeping notes because I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm a bird.
Caca.
You're a bird, I'm a bard, let's hit it.
Let's
That
do
has
it.
some different connotations thanks to
There's just
Bloody-
one letter difference either way.
Baldur's Gate. Although that was a bear, not a bird. But anyways.
Oh dear.
So, you're turning into the giant eagle, and Mug is climbing on top, and you are flying up as high as you can go.
Well, as high as we can see stuff.
Hmm.
As high as the bird can see stuff. So if we start at like 300 feet, maybe? That
Let's
seems
see.
like a good distance
Well,
where
a
like
standard eagle can see up to 2 miles. So I wonder what a giant eagle could see.
Well, luckily, perception-wise, I get advantage being a giant eagle. I was double checking that I didn't sure from like my hearing was even better because that would make this harder. But I do have advantage on perception checks that rely on sight. If that means anything, I don't know.
So the only thing I have to go off is the fact that the giant eagle and the eagle have the exact same perception. So I'd say you probably have a sight of about 2 miles, possibly 3, if we give the giant eagle a little bit of a buff.
So Storm is actually going to pike up. Sorry, I had to go to the bathroom. And
It's okay.
make a suggestion among all of this. If
We like suggestions.
you are both going up there and cannot hear, maybe I can go with you in my compass. And
I'm gonna.
And I can also see if there is anything I can perceive as well, just in case. So there is one person that is... I do not know if this will be helpful.
I assumed that I was going up there and could hear.
Yes.
And that
To my knowledge, I'm going
Sam
to be the
was-
only one who can't. But
Yeah.
having you inside of your compass, if you can't hear things normally anyway, that could be
I can
interesting.
hear in the compass. I can
Okay.
only hear my surroundings though, and I do not know how far out that is. I do not know
we
the
could-
effect of the creature, if this is in theory effect of creature. We don't know if it is effect of creature. We don't know. This could be put in place by persons. It could be
This is true.
some sort of magical field around the city. We don't know. But maybe I can see something that you cannot. I just think
Yes.
that more eyes in the sky is better, but less bodies in the sky is also better.
Yes.
Mm.
I do agree. So, Mug, if you wouldn't mind carrying Storm. I mean, technically I could in my claw, but I don't want to have the...
You can just put it around your neck, you know.
I don't want you to merge with my body.
What? No, after you transform.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Also, you would not let me attempt this prior. so I did not assume that you would let me do it this time.
We didn't?
No, both you and your brother refused to transform with me in the locket.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, that makes sense. Because I don't know what's going to happen, and that's a little bit.
But I was
When
really
you didn't
curious.
expect
I
it.
really wanted to know if it would hide me, you know? Like, if
Find
it...
another druid!
Okay, I guess I will then.
Some freaky druid. I was willing to teach your people some druidry. I don't know. Murd cat on cat, become extra cat. I don't know how this works.
Would a
I'm going to go be a
Would a
bird
cat-
now.
would a cat druid be able to wild shape into a non-animal race?
Mm-mm.
Not how that works.
'Cause they're
No.
not
It's still a beast. It's still a beast.
I was legitimately about to say a real person, and that sounded horrendous.
Wow, the level. The level.
Woo! The racism. Wow.
The racism. It's kind of funny.
So, in the meantime, we're going to go scout out the skies and the city beneath. Xantix and Kovac.
I'm going to find the wizard on call and ask a question.
The wizard on call.
Can you also begin, and I know this will be incredibly difficult for you, can you write everything down in one place? I mean, I know how much you hate such burdensome tasks.
I'm not even going to dignify that request with a response.
And then
Oh.
muttering under her breath, bitch, I've already started.
Which reminds me, Kovac, could I have some paper? And
Yes.
writing implements to take with me inside the compass?
That is fine. She produces some basic charcoal and a few sheets.
She's like, oh, would you like me to give you some money for this? I know it is very important to you.
That is okay. Regular paper is cheap. Magical paper or high quality paper, which is used for spellcraft, is more expensive.
Is that why you get so mad at me when I draw little pictures in your magic book?
Yes.
I don't think Kovac knew about that one, Storm.
It was only a matter of time before she's discovered it anyway. Wait, you haven't found it yet?
As a telepathic message, I go to Mug sends a message to Storm going, I hope this is a con and you haven't drawn anything because she'll be searching for weeks.
It is absolutely a con. And she's grinning from ear to ear.
I need you to understand something very, very important about my spellbook. My spellbook is sentient, and its mind is on some level part of my own. If anyone tarnishes that book, I will be aware of it, and I will fireball them into oblivion.
Are you sure?
You didn't feel that tickle last week? Note that down. Let's go.
I walk out of the room first.
Storm learned very quickly Kovac's reaction to her drawing in books.
And Kovac is trying to be more chill, but it's not working.
And Storm is trying to be more respectful, much to
It's
her
not
own
working.
disdain.
It's not working either.
And to think, this group of idiots might be the only thing that saves the world.
Look,
And that's every D&D story.
Yes.
she's trying, she's learning, she's just slow. None of
Yeah.
it makes sense to her, okay? She's like, well, I don't get it. All right, then.
But essentially, it's like, oh, we've had this like weird, heavy, traumatic experience. Let's troll each other while the city's in danger. That is our coping mechanism.
I see absolutely no problem with this.
With this. Yeah.
Sorry, go.
Shall we go to the roof?
Kovac
Yep.
has disappeared to talk to people.
I will find the wizard later. You do your thing first. In terms of like narrative hierarchy.
Yep. All right, so you go to the roof.
yes,
Sam
it's
turning into a giant eagle and Mug mounting up. You take off into the skies. You do hear a few calls out from below, as some people do see the giant eagle, and it is a bit of surprising.
Wave.
Okay. Yeah, fair. You know what? A little girl waves back to you.
Oh.
Yay. I'm Batman.
Motherfucker! Is what she hears in her
No,
head.
you're
from
Eagle Man. You're
Storm,
Eagle Orc.
when this happens, will obviously pop into the the compass and entrust it to whoever is nearby.
Do we know if we can communicate with you when you're in the compass?
I can hear everything that's happening around me. That's it. I cannot make sound out of it, but I can hear what's happening. So if you talk, I can hear you. You just can't hear my response.
Hey, Storm, if you can hear us, do something.
She just like flails wildly. What do you want me to do? There is nothing I can do from in here, you stupid fool!
I think I felt a vibration.
Sorry, just some wind turbulence.
I was gonna say, the only thing she can do is exit the thing, and
Yeah,
she doesn't know
literally.
exactly where she's going to come out from. She may be falling directly afterwards.
Yeah, I don't think I can see anything. I can just hear.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me check.
You're able to like have some level of perception of the outside area.
Hang on. One side you can hear the area around you or in the space you're in. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about seeing outside of it. I can't see. I can only hear.
How high are you flying?
Sorry,
How
there was a question
high-
at me,
Just
wasn't there?
realized.
Yeah.
An eagle can fly up to 2 miles in height. So we could say, if we're pushing the giant eagle to 3 miles in sight, we can give him 3 miles in height as well for flying, which is quite a distance up.
Yeah.
Not very. Me as a person, I'm not very good at working out distance. So I might say the full 3, but I don't actually know how high up that is.
Let's go 3 miles in kilometers. That's
I would need a
almost
visual
5 kilometers.
representation.
I was gonna say that's almost 5 kilometers.
That doesn't help me. I need a visual. Sorry, I need a visual representation. My brain does not work out.
The
It is just above half the height of Mount Everest, if that helps.
I don't want to go that high. That's real high.
The air gets thin and it tastes funny.
Doesn't bother me. I don't need to breathe.
I'll test a few different distances. Like I'll get to like how the tallest building to start with, and then I'll go. Okay, maybe let's try double the distance of that.
Right,
I
so the
don't want
tallest
to start
building
having to
would be the palace
strain.
itself.
Yeah, I don't have to strain to see.
Don't fly near the palace.
No, I'm not flying near. I'm getting a gauge. This is also
Just say
Wild shape ends.
Oh wait, yeah, no, I did try to turn into a cat while I was there, and yeah.
Also, just keep in mind you do have the vague idea of where Storm saw the creatures. So like you have a vague idea of where to go.
Yeah, so I'm kind of doing a gauge and a sweep around, like in the Vidalcan Quarter, the education sector, the court sector, like that smaller area.
So the question I have is, did you incorporate your earmuffs
Yes.
into your wild shape form?
Yep, I would have put them on first, told Mug, like, all right, we're going. If you need anything, mental power time. But can't you do that link thingy?
So as soon as you take off, you immediately can see the creatures around the city.
All my
as you
fear
you
is
are
shit,
incapable
fuck,
of hearing.
Shit, fuck.
What's wrong?
Oh, yeah, I see the weird dick worms everywhere.
Okay, but what's happening in the city?
I said what I said, fuck. Okay.
You broke Ash. That's normally my job.
Of all of the things you could say, I was not expecting dick worms.
Dick face
What's
worms?
better?
Well,
They're
'cause I can't
grinning
really
dick
see
face
their,
worms.
like, eating things. I just see weird. The wiglets.
Wiglet? What?
Yeah.
Wiglets. I like wiglets. Grinning
Wiglet is a
wiglets.
Pokemon. Wiglet is a Pokemon. It's like Diglett, but longer and more Wiglet. Actually, yeah, look at Wiglets. Chat, look at Wiglets. And if you put a weird mouth on them, they're basically these things.
That sounds
Oh,
super
They are
sus.
not. So Wiglet is a convergent type Pokemon. So it looks a lot like Diglett, but it's not Diglett. It's a completely separate Pokemon, other than being
So-
a different. I am a Pokemon nerd.
The first thing you notice is that the heads that you see in the city are not in the same locations that Storm saw them in and made marks on her map. So they have moved since then. But as far as you can tell, they are coming out of the ground.
Yeah.
So they don't seem to have any mobility above ground other than like the worming snakiness of them.
So am I on Sam's
the-
neck? Or Mug's neck?
No.
I'm on Mug's neck.
You'd be on Mug's neck,
Mug's neck.
otherwise you
Okay.
would probably be incorporated also into.
Yes, which he
Also, I
refused to
don't
let me
think
I
the
can-
necklace
yeah.
would be big enough for a giant eagle.
Fair. I mean, it's not like a small necklace. It's like a big, long chain thing. It's a compass.
It's
Oh, like a
chunky.
rapper
It's a
from the
compass.
90s.
Kind of. It's
Flavor
think of
Flav.
it. Think of it like a pocket watch. How a pocket watch
need-
is not.
I
We
need
are
the
doing
mental image of her with a giant ass compass on it.
Yeah.
The compass isn't huge. Just a long chain.
I know.
Fuck,
It's
man.
like this big, I'd say, because it's enough to fit into your hand. Like so
That's
that
way
that's
too
how big
big.
I'm thinking the
It's
compass
like
is.
it's like your standard compass size. Like you know. That's...
You don't know how big my hands are. You've never seen them in person.
I do.
Ash has.
That sounds real sus.
But anyway,
Okay, what do you see?
many things not in the
How many
same
dick
location.
worms?
Do I get a rough estimate of how many I can?
You can see them.
I
They're
can't
on the
say
board.
everything.
That name is gonna stick, Ash. I'm sorry.
Roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I notice? It might be a bit much. If the ground that they're popping out of, it looks like either they're phasing through it or it's like burrowing.
So, because you're an eagle, and eagles have really, really good telescopic sight, yeah, you can actually see that they have like burrowed out of the ground.
That's weird. They burrow. They're not just phasing through. We should probably
Oh.
double check to see if there've been any reports of strange
There won't
accidents
be.
on the roads or the paths, like people falling into like holes. Or
There won't be.
something.
It won't be
Is-
reported because people won't remember.
Mug.
No, but if they're burrowing and they descend again, there will technically be an opening or some form of uneven terrain, like with moles and molehills, things like that, like where they've actually go out and back in, because they're not in the same location, so they aren't stuck there.
You're all
They
talking
do
in your
seem to have-
heads, but is
Yes.
Mug relaying any of this to Storm to write down?
Not the conversation, but the summary of what we've found. So you'll get a very disconcerting. There's 5 dick worms in the city.
Okay.
Not in same locations.
Okay.
I'm
So
assuming I
like
can't say that.
5
The
dick,
dick worms have moved.
They've moved.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
Got a
she's
It's
just
serious
I-
case of moving dickworms here.
Serious, the most serious case of the moving.
she's
the
writing
dicky
only
worms.
what you tell her.
It might be worth telling Storm regarding the burrowing aspect, and then 'cause if they and the fact that they've moved, so they must go down and pop back out again when the food is less.
So, can Mug see anything when he looks down? Any creatures?
No. You
Okay.
see everyone going about their days as normal.
And Storm doesn't see anything either, obviously.
Yeah. I'm gonna go higher in a bit.
Can you tell me which locations they're at? Is there any points of
Yeah,
reference?
so there's middle of Textile District, middle of Mason District. I think is that the Mason? I think it's the Mason.
Yeah, the
One of-
Mason
one
District.
Kind of,
Textiles,
Yeah.
Mason, the La Grande Marche, the Luxury District, and there's one in the infrastructure sector.
I was role playing it because I'm circling around. I know where everything is. But yeah, in the middle of like these areas, sort of situation. Although the Grand Marsh, it's kind of over on the side. That's a big area. Yeah, so they
relay that to Storm.
And
so
she'll
maybe some form of burrowing creature.
she'll mark everything on her map.
Mug has also just made a realization of this plan, which wasn't apparent to him before. His thought was, oh yeah, I'll just use my magic finger to write on my arm. But that means holding on to a flying giant fucking eagle with one hand.
Look, man, no hands.
Hands.
Oh!
That
But
seems
you
like a
got strong
bad
thighs.
plan.
Do I get any other sort of features about these creatures with my eyesight? Like maybe more than we've had before. One thing I'm curious about is do they notice that they can? Do they seem to notice if they've been seen?
No, but I will get you to roll me a perception check.
Is
I
it
want to
based
try
on
and see if I
vision?
can get any new details.
It is
like
based on
mark-
vision.
So you have
yeah.
advantage.
I mean, it literally can't be based on sound because he is currently deaf.
So that's
Could be taste, I guess.
16. If it's their perception, so 16 plus 9. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. 25.
25.
This is my mental stat, so yeah, that's fine.
The thing you notice is while they are not consuming someone, they have their mouths open and do seem to be moving their mouths almost as if they are making a sound, but you obviously can't hear that sound.
Like this, kind of like.
Yeah.
Mug
That's
also
weird.
really wants to learn the magic that they have.
Roughly, how many of them are doing that? It's like at any one time, is there not a single head doing that? Or
Occasionally
is there
there
always
is
one head.
occasionally there is a time where all of the heads are consuming, and there's not one doing that.
And at that point, me just being curious, are people? Does Mug see anything at that point? Nothing changes.
I know what you're trying to hint at. No.
Just that they stop and it's immediate. Okay, theory, Mug. There
Mhm.
might be some form of lingering effect. Either they're flexing their jaws, or they're doing some form of noise thing.
You think they're singing?
I said noise thing. I didn't necessarily say
Noise
singing.
thing with flexing jaws is singing.
Or screaming.
I mean, we've definitely heard the halfling bard try, and I wouldn't call that singing.
He's actually
Anyway.
a good bard.
He is. But I want to make a joke.
Hey,
It's just
But
too
he's
bad
no
he's a
mug.
bad person.
He's no mug.
But yeah, so it's like either I mean, there's a this is only a theory, nothing confirmed. but there might be some lingering effects that they have to make a noise for a bit, eat. It's really weird to explain. But I saw
pass
one
on
of them
to
do
Storm part of this.
occasionally they change which head is doing it.
Okay, so Storm will write down what she can understand or
Yeah.
what you relate to her.
Yeah.
That's odd. Alright, I'm gonna go higher because I want to see if you can see anything.
Hmm.
I mean, it might be awkward because I don't know how far you can really see. But yeah. Alright, going up.
Yeah, as you continue going up and up and up, whilst you're still able to make out details quite easily, Mug is finding it harder and harder to be able to pick out like individuals or anything like that.
Yeah.
You are still not seeing anything though.
Okay. I've got a terrible plan, but they're the best kind, right?
Oh, you're not gonna free fall, are you?
No, you are.
Storm can't
What?
do anything.
Okay, here's my plan. We need to rapidly test if there's any height at which I can see them because I can't hear them. So too high, I can't see anything. Too low, I'm definitely going to hear something to see if there's a weird middle ground. So if you do a dive straight down at one of them and I look straight forward going, nope, 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 nope. If I ever go, yep, 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 and then nope, 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 you know that I saw it for a moment.
Okay, this is gonna be fun trying to explain this.
Storm in the compass is like, what the fuck?
Fuck.
Oh, okay, that's
Oh,
actually, I don't think
yeah.
this actually makes a little bit of sense. It's
It does.
It's
I mean,
but I'm
it's
stupid,
not
any-
but it
liking
worked, maybe?
This is a signature on-brand Mug plan. It has just enough structure to make sense, but it's dumb as all hell.
It's just enough stupidity that it
Yeah.
just might work.
Alright. How high do you climb first?
I'm not like the maximum height because he's gonna have issues breathing.
At what stage
Gonna
does it start to
bow.
get a little bit chilly? Because I didn't bring a jacket.
Storm's perfectly comfortably temperatured,
Yeah.
so she's not bothered.
Not even bothered.
Not even bothered, mate.
And each time we're doing this, we just yell, "For science!"
Yeah.
This is a horrible plan.
Yeah.
It's working.
It
I
though.
starts
also-
getting hard to breathe at 1.5 miles. So
Let's
half
do-
Okay.
half your maximum height.
I'm
Stuff like
relying
that.
try
on.
from
Oh,
here.
wait, no, I'm gonna also struggle to breathe, aren't I? Because I'm a bird.
No. Eagles are capable of flying up to
Okay.
2 miles normally.
I
and
will
giant
tell
eagle,
Mug that I will need you to alert me when things start becoming problematic. Because what I'll do is I'll descend a little bit slowly first,
Yeah.
so you acclimatize, and then I'm going to go into it. Because the last two things I want you to do is pass out or vomit.
Or get the bends.
The anti-bends?
Pass out or vomit. I can fix the bends. I think.
Fix the bends.
Because
There's,
another thing...
Is it? What's the spell? Lesser
Restoration?
restoration. Fix the bends.
Because another thought occurred to me of, like, if the palace anti-magic field just for whatever reason extended straight into the sky, and we were at enough height and flew through it, and it stopped the wild shape, we were fucked. If we had 1,000 feet of falling damage. With
I
no
could
feather
turn back
falling.
into another eagle. I'm fine.
Obliteration.
How many times per day can you do that?
Twice.
And this is your second for the day.
This is my first.
I thought you changed into a cat earlier.
You tried to change
Haven't
into
we
a catch,
rested?
which used no.
Oh. It didn't use or
Oh, I
did
thought we'd
use?
rested in between that.
Yeah.
Oh, my...
No.
So yeah, this would be my. If that's where that actually wants to run it, then yes, this is my first successful one.
Yes, but it would have used your effect to attempt earlier.
Yeah, so I can't do it again. I can polymorph. If that'll be successful, it's a completely different matter.
Yeah.
But it's fine because I've got some diamonds.
So
Oh my
the magic
God.
words are not
As soon as I
die.
get to you within a minute, you'll be right.
Use my body to cushion your blow. So
I was going to say, you can't really use Sam's body to cushion your blow.
No.
It would be like a small little pillow.
So let's descend a little bit. Make sure that we're all lined up,
I'll
and then
descend
do the.
a few meters. I don't know how. Again, I don't know how I'm with this. Sam will understand.
Yes.
Matt is dumb.
So you're going up about 1.5 miles to the point where Mug is starting to have problems. Only just starting to have problems to breathe.
Yeah, starts to have problems. Then thinks, okay, that's probably going to be
Are
a
you
decent amount.
free falling? So, like, are you shooting straight down?
No,
That's-
I'll descend carefully a little bit to make sure he doesn't suddenly get. And then I will gradually start picking up speed, and then I'll go faster and faster. Like,
Okay.
I
Until,
am doing a bit
basically, at
more
some point, you're going to
casually.
reach terminal velocity.
Yeah, Mug's
Hold
secret
on,
plan.
real good.
Mug's secret plan was to have his own amusement park that no one else gets to experience.
Storm does technically.
Yeah, and I get to experience
Yeah.
it
Mug,
I
am going to-
auditorily, not visually.
I am
Let's
going
see.
to ask you to make me an animal handling check to hold on.
Can I make an athletics check instead?
No.
Even if it causes Sam damage?
Yes.
No.
I have 1 HP. I don't.
Because you haven't prepared yourself any
Yep.
like way of having a harness or anything like that, you are trying to understand how to hold on to an animal.
Yep.
Correct.
Animal handling.
Yes.
The
I'm
last thing you want to do is put me into a chokehold.
I'm almost half trained in that, one might say.
Keeping in mind, you do have a player reroll. Because
Please don't make us use it on
Use it.
this. Of all things, on this.
We might want to do that. Okay. Is the eagle being accommodating and making him easy to, making themselves easy to be mounted?
yes,
I'm a bird.
however, he is now starting to plummet and starting to
Yeah.
increase speed to
It's the descend. It's
terminal
the descend,
velocity.
It's
Yeah.
the
So,
velocity.
it will
it's
be
gonna
pretty
the
hard.
wind.
So I rolled a 7 in
Mhm.
total.
Oh.
Oh.
I thought you were starting with the 7. I was
No.
like 7, and then I'm gonna add some stuff to that.
Well, no, he started with it, and unfortunately, there's also.
I will
ending with
ask,
it.
do you want to use a player?
I think that would be useful.
I will allow this,
Fine.
but that's obviously.
But
because
if
he's
it's
on.
worse, I'm not going to be happy.
Happy. Oh, neither. Oh no! Do you know the best thing about this? If we both plummet to the ground, Mug will walk away because he's a goddamn orc. He'll be on 1 hit point from face planting through a building.
I mean, I'm pretty sure
Well-
Storm will be fine, but she'll be really
Unless the
pissed at you.
DM says no.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure the rules of taking twice your hit points of damage and instantly dying overrule that, but, you know, sure.
Yeah, it's not going to be twice my hit points, I wouldn't think. Maybe.
Twice your total? Probably.
Let's see. What is it? An extra d6 every, 10 feet is it?
Yes.
So 8,000 feet that you're plummeting?
I am also adding on velocity,
Guys,
so if I
we
say
have-
stop,
guys,
look at
guys,
me.
we have 7 rerolls. It's fine.
Oh, you've got
Yeah.
plenty. You don't need
So-
it.
Change it to 6. Let's just reroll.
Time for a reroll. That is significantly better.
DM only has 1.
Dirty 20.
Oh, yeah, you're fine. DC was 18, so you're fine. So, you hang on for dear life as you at
Yes.
first when the descent starts happening, you're like, oh, this isn't so bad,
Yeah.
and then suddenly it's like, oh my god.
This was a bad plan. Why do you keep listening to me?
Can I get you?
I can't say no to that face.
Can I get you to make me a perception check with disadvantage?
Advantage. Yes.
But
That
you
wind
are
noise,
also going
though.
at a very significant plummet.
The wind noise past your ears.
Disadvantage isn't going to matter. Oh, wait. Sam, you're within
know it's
15
gonna
feet.
come up.
Can I re-roll the 1?
Let me give me 10 minutes to think about it.
You're fine.
Yes.
Okay. With disadvantage, perception of 11.
Okay. Okay. I will state that you actually wanted to fail this.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I forgot this
So yes,
piece of
as you
information.
start descending, there is a point where the wind rushing past your ears is so loud that you cannot hear anything else, and that is where you start seeing the creature.
That's where he starts saying
Uh,
yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I feel
So
like
it's
okay.
no-
Like, I work
Yes,
out
yes,
and
yes,
going,
yes, yes, yes,
oh yes, or if he's just
Ooh,
Okay,
yeah.
so what Storm has done to try and track this? Because she only really knows what she can hear, not what she can see. She has no way to determine at what point he started saying yes. So, she drew up a tally, like a chart. No,
yeah,
yes,
that's a good
no,
point.
right?
Yeah, I see.
And she put a mark against every no, and then yes, and then no. And of course, they're not going to be evenly spaced, but it at least gives a vague idea.
Now you just need someone who can understand and calculate the descent of the eagle versus the
Oh, but
nopes.
Kovac!
is it a African or European eagle? It's
I hate
definitely
this
not
question.
unladen.
I hate being here.
It's very laden.
Why are you
All right.
like this?
So you are constantly saying yes, because you are now reaching terminal velocity. You are
Actually,
accelerated to the maximum possible speed, and you are plummeting towards this creature. Sam, at what point do you stop?
okay, actually,
Round.
no, I take it back. It's probably a better idea that she just counts time. So she just, like, does a vague estimation of how long he says no for and how long he says yes for.
I liked your idea. It was good.
She does both, but she's also gonna, like, count in her head. Like, 1,
Yeah, covering all
2,
of our bases.
3.
I
four,
will once I start seeing. I don't know. When I start seeing people a tiny bit easier, then I'll start like going
So,
back
basically
up and
straight away?
around.
Eagles have
I don't
really
know.
good.
I don't know how good things are. He's still going yes,
Yes.
and I'm probably getting fairly okay. So like, okay, still working.
Eventually,
It's
you
either-
go, okay, I'm getting too close to the creature. There's a chance that I'm now in a dangerous point. I assume
I'm gonna
that's where
start
Yep.
barreling back
Yeah.
up.
It's-
Also, if for any reason there are people starting to get spells ready because they see a large bird suddenly just plummeting straight down towards.
Mummy, that dot's getting
I don't know what the defenses
bigger.
are like or how they're going to be.
I mean, there may be a few crossbow bolts fired in your direction from some town guard.
Look, I did
Which
do the
makes
maths.
sense.
In D&D, the default terminal velocity is 500 feet. If you were dropping from 1.5 miles, you have like... You would have over a minute to send Kovac a message and say, hey Kovac, can you go outside and cast Featherfall?
But we can't message you.
Well, why not?
How?
Requires,
Sending!
No spell
requires
slots.
Oh dear.
And I
Oh,
can't,
It's
I
okay.
can't cast spells,
Storm-
and you're not within 30 feet.
It's alright. It's alright.
Storm did
You're
the most
not
Kovac
falling.
thing she could think of. She's counting in her head, and she's putting her little markers.
She's checking her list. She's checking it twice.
Kovac, Mug used the last third level spell slot to warn your queen of the dangers.
Thank you.
Because you'll call in that
So,
favor
yeah,
later.
that's
I think
kind
what
of
he's
how
trying
I'm
to
playing
say
it.
is,
I will
"You're
start
welcome."
careening off.
You're welcome for the sun, the skies. And the
So-
That's what the father whale said to his son. You're welcome.
Hey, what?
I thought you said well, and I got confused.
So you're falling from the sky.
So,
Uh,
no, you stop. You level out as you get to a distance that you think is safe.
Yeah.
As soon as
I will
that
have to go
air
back up a
pressure,
little bit just to.
Yeah. as soon as that air pressure comes off your ears and you're able to start hearing again, you completely forget about the creature again.
shit. Looks like that didn't work.
What?
I thought we might be able to see them for a moment there, but I guess we'll have to come up with another plan.
Okay, can you please tell Storm that you
Storm-
stop saying yes?
What?
Storm
Just
Storm
do
in the compass, like, ugh. Okay, so
Uh,
the ears are thing. Okay,
yeah,
so they can't touch
Storm, it turns out I couldn't see anything, so it wasn't working.
Oh yeah, they weren't speaking out loud. I forgot.
No, I was sending telepathic and voice
Yeah.
messages.
But when you were like, oh, I guess it didn't work, I presumed that was just in the head, or was that out loud as well?
No, that probably would have been out loud as well.
Okay. So Storm's just like, I know, I can hear you.
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear me, but it didn't work.
Facepalm. She
Right,
writes
so
notes.
the theory here is.
Note, Mug is an
My
idiot.
brain
Okay,
has just overthought
I
something.
have a
I'm not
question.
gonna-
I have an answer.
Yes.
So I can hear everything around me. I also would have had my ears blocked. Now I can't see anything. But from just the sound of everything around me, would I also have realized that he stopped diving?
Well, the plummeting stops.
Yeah.
Roll me a perception check. I'll give you an advantage on this actually, because it is air based and you are an air genasi.
Huh. I've got a question.
What did you roll like 2 1s or something?
This might be a strange
17.
question, but does the compass have relative gravity? So if I get the compass
Well, there is actually
and
something
turn it
about
upside down, is Storm going to like fall to the roof?
that. No. So no, it's not.
Okay.
But she has incredibly keen perception and she understands the winds quite well. I would say with a 17, you would at least, without knowing exactly, you would have an idea of relative time of slowdown. And when Mug starts saying that it didn't work, you would assume that that's when they've stopped the trial anyway, so you've reached close enough to the ground.
Could Storm have made the assumption and connection that the wind in the ears was blocking out a noise and it made him that, because that's, so she would have relative understanding of when.
Insight check.
But the thing is,
That's-
I need to know whether I remember what happened.
You would
Yeah.
remember everything that happened because none of that was affected by the creature.
Yeah. The same way that Kovac
It wasn't
remembered
your
seeing
it wasn't
you
your
draw the
perception
pictures.
or knowledge of the creature or anything. You were just hearing Mug say no, yes, no. That's all you heard. You didn't know anything about the creature at all.
No.
So the answer is you know everything of what you heard just then.
Okay.
That is the answer.
Okay. I just want to know if she would be smart enough to like be able to make the connection that the wind blocked out his thing, and that's
Insight check.
when he started going yes, because like she can still hear things that are going on around her. 23.
So you've got a very good insight. Yes, you would be able to make that deduction.
You probably heard me get louder because I couldn't hear what was going on, so I would have been screaming over the
Oh,
the
if you
sound of
weren't
the wind.
screaming, she wouldn't have been able to hear you.
Yeah.
Because she can hear the wind. She can hear everything in her vicinity. Like in her little... around her.
Yes, so yes, you would be able to work out that there was a correlation between the sound barrier being hit, basically.
She felt nothing. But she heard it.
She's just like having a cup of tea. Ah, yes, indubitably. Meanwhile, outside.
I mean,
So
if she
yes,
wasn't doing a task, well, she'd be just sitting there with a chatterbox.
So we
Uh,
need to get a couple of things that'll make the party members deaf. We can probably just wait a little while for Xantix. He's that old, he'll probably go deaf soon anyway.
So as you level out and you start flying at like a nice cruising altitude, Mug, you start seeing down on the ground several guards like waving at you. They have crossbows in hand, and one of them fires off like a signal flare up into the air next to you. You're too high to really make out what they're saying, but they seem to be signaling for you to land.
No! Whee! Yes.
You're deaf,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
You definitely see the signal flare though, and it is
Yeah.
close to you.
Mug should not
Mug,
go
what's
with his
going
gut
on?
instincts. Mug's gut instinct is to do a quick flyby and send a telepathic message as we briefly pass through 60 foot of range from them and going, Secret Xel'nari business, bye. I think...
I mean, you're not technically wrong, but at the same time,
Yeah. That's the problem with playing Mug. His intrusive thoughts end up happening.
That's why we play D&D. We all have
intrusive.
Have you met me? Have you met Storm? Have you met us?
Hey, now, no. Actually, I play Storm exactly 100% true to her personality traits.
Yeah.
Yeah, intrusive thoughts. Storm's intrusive thoughts.
No, you don't understand. The thoughts have intrusive storms.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll say and telepath. The guards are getting a bit weirded out. Let's fly low and go back to base.
Okay, just as a word of warning, we know how this is going to be. Once I take off my headphones, so I'm just going to keep them on. Truth be told, not hearing anything is really quite nice. When people talk, it just gets very loud sometimes, and there's a lot going on, and you feel like the back of your neck and Sam's just explaining sensory overload, basically.
And while he's doing that, Mug's saying
These
to
are
the
mine now.
holding the compass and going, he can't hear us. I was like, Sam can't hear us. We could say whatever we want.
Storm just rolls her eyes.
By the way,
and
I
then,
can't hear you. You can say whatever you want.
And then Storm face palms. No, she doesn't hear that. So she's
You
just
can't hear me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know whether telepathy goes into the weird pocket dimensions.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Did it?
So don't go too close to the walls because they'll shoot us. Don't go too close to the palace because they'll shoot us. Don't go too close to the barracks because they'll shoot us. Yeah.
I've been making sure to avoid all of these areas.
In answer to the question of does it telepathy work? No, because there is a distance to it, and the planes are physically not a distance.
Yes.
At all.
Yes.
So you return back to Xel'nari HQ.
Yeah.
Okay.
As we as we sort of land, I'll send a telepathic message to Sam going, is it worth staying as an eagle in case you want to do another experiment, or should we wait to do that tomorrow?
Sorry, I had a moment. What you said?
As we land, you get a telepathic message saying, is it worth staying as an eagle in case we need to do more experiments, or do you want to change back and we'll do that tomorrow if we have another plan?
Considering Storm's still in her compass,
I can stay
I'm
in
the
here
only
a
actual.
while.
Yeah, I'm the only other actual Xel'nari, and they may need to physically see that.
Didn't we land back at
it might be
Xel'nari
nice
headquarters?
to know that I'm not just an eagle that you somehow wrangled doing your dirty business, which you have. That's a different story.
You actually probably don't
I'll-
have much time left on your
No,
wild
yeah.
shape.
I ETA about like 7
Right.
minutes tops on
Haven't
this
you got
anyway.
4
so-
hours per wild shape?
No.
No.
Yeah. It goes up with level.
Yeah.
It
Well,
took
that's true.
Oh, does it? I thought it was only
Yeah.
2 hours full stop.
No, it goes up with level.
You have half your level in hours per wild shape.
My druid is 1 lower than our
So
max because
8
I
divided
took
by
1
2, 4 hours per wild shape.
Are we level 9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
So yeah,
all the
in
cool
theory,
kids
but I
have
think
multi-classed.
Ah!
Yeah.
I will.
Excuse me, I can actually
go,
cast 5th level spells.
Yes,
I
but you
think it
are
would
not
be-
and will never be a cool kid.
That's
Absolutely.
not what the librarian thinks about her. I'm gonna take turn out of bird, mostly because traveling will be easier. Unfortunately, because we'll probably have to go through the towns.
Okay, I just want to establish: would it be feasible to just go back and land on the roof of the Xel'nari embassy?
If that is where the signals are saying I can, because I'm taking you by this, because you can see things like and hear things I can't.
My plan was to ignore the signals, scoot off sideways, and then send a message saying, "Yeah, it was us. We'll explain in the morning."
Or happy to explain. Yeah, I'm gonna land on top of the building.
So I did the maths for it.
Xel'nari.
You would have used about 2 hours of your time to climb
Yeah.
to the height and
Yeah.
descend back down again, and then your cycle flight back.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Okay,
go
if you're
back
Warhammer,
to
landing-
the
don't
building.
Warhammer D&D making me do math.
So
That's
the
a long
Xel'nari,
flight.
the Xel'nari building,
Wait,
or the
what's
guard
that?
building?
Xel'nari building.
Okay.
Unless they start getting really aggy, shooting bits, because we're not AKA complying, but I don't know.
Well, I really don't think idiots hooning around on a giant eagle is in the town guard playbook.
You'd be surprised.
There's a lot of what we do which I don't think is in the town book, but yeah. If I do see any guards in particular as we go past there, I will whisper into their heads official Xel'nari business settling down on top of the Xel'nari building if you wish to discuss.
Roll me a persuasion, please.
This is gonna go well.
Because in a way, you're not technically lying.
I don't know.
It's not official Xel'nari business.
Well, is this
No, it is.
persuasion?
It is
I got a
Xel'nari people
+2.
investigating threats to the world. It's within their jurisdiction.
Yeah, so I rolled a 15 altogether.
That's not bad.
That's the minimum Mug can get when he's near you.
Well, I have minus to
I was gonna
charisma.
say, as they can't respond to you, you have no idea if you're successful or not.
Nope. I told them a thing. And if they want to deal with that, they can come talk to me, bitch.
Well, the good news is that no guards come storming into the Xel'nari HQ, so it may have worked.
Do any of them start shooting? As I'm
No,
flying?
none of them are shooting.
Okay. I will take that as goodwill.
So we walk
yeah.
back in. So I'll place the compass down on the ground and say, "Storm, it's safe to come out."
You don't get a response at first.
Yeah.
And you're just like, it's an extended pause of like, did they actually hear it? And then it's a
Are they
begrudging,
bullshitting?
and then a begrudging, all right. And she comes out, and she just like takes the thing and goes, and just like hands out the paper.
Huh.
You did see it. You were screaming yes.
Ah.
Don't worry, I
yeah.
put some weird like I did not do math very well, but I did make like possible calculations someone could do with this info. I'll explain later.
So you have
Let's go
memory
find
of my
Kovac.
not memory, but I do not have memory of my not memory.
Yeah, something like this.
Okay, that makes sense.
Cool. I don't know what you guys are saying. This is lovely.
I love that.
I'll point to my mouth to get you to try and lip read, and then speak in Orcish.
Your mum's a hoe. Got it.
That's probably close to what I was saying.
Also, knowing
Oh.
Mug, just in general,
Yes,
it would
yeah.
be something you should repeat.
Head back down to the meeting room and go, Kovac, under what circumstances would the guards use signaling arrows?
I think we need to cut back 2 hours into
Oh,
the
yes.
past.
Yes, of course. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys would have been doing stuff
Because
still.
things
Doing
were
the thing.
happening. I didn't think it would take that long.
No, this is our game. Our game.
So yes, we go back 2 hours into the past. Remind me what you were doing, because that was a decent amount of actual time ago.
Sorry, apologies.
I'm looking for the wizard on call.
Yes.
I'm also with Kovac
Yes.
Yes.
as well.
The two of us probably would have taken like 5 minutes to consolidate all of our data because
Yeah.
that's dead easy. We're both super smart.
Yeah, we're pretty smart.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Do you both have intelligence 20, or is one of you
Yes.
the idiot who's only on 19?
I am 20.
And I'm
we have
20.
we have a combined intelligence of 40.
That's not how
And
that
you're
works.
smart enough to believe that's how it works. Yeah.
I mean, my wisdom is only a 12, so yes.
That's still
And do
above
you have
average.
the combined charisma of a puddle of water?
Mine's
No,
10.
it's my strength of the noodle arms that's
Ah,
bringing me down.
There we go.
So, it doesn't take you long to find the wizard on duty. She seems to be a fairly well-aged elf by elven standards. She's probably in her 300 to 400s. Very well dressed, fully emblazoned with Xel'nari colors and emblems, and a large, hefty tome strapped to her side.
Okay.
You'd possibly recognize her in passing. You may have met her previously, and Xantix, you probably would have had interactions with her as well here. Her name is Mera.
Mira.
Mira. I will approach extremely no nonsense and just say, "Hello, Mira. Kovac Royazi, a pleasure.
The pleasure is mine. What can I do for you today?
I was wondering if you had a certain spell in your repertoire.
It is quite possible. What is the spell you are seeking?
Blindness, deafness.
Does she? I will ask. Highs or lows?
Highs.
Unfortunately, no, that is not one of the spells in my repertoire.
That is
Though I
unfortunate.
do believe some of the wizards at the planetaria may possess it. It could be somewhere you look into.
Good to know. Thank you. As I am present, I will perhaps ask one additional question.
By all means.
Do you have vortex warp?
Eyes or less.
Hi.
Unfortunately, no, that is not a spell.
Does she have
An
any
interesting
useful
spell,
spells?
but not one that I have, no.
That is a shame. I was hoping to use them for a case. I'll have to inquire elsewhere. As a show of good faith, are there any spells that I may have that you are interested in?
Perhaps allow me to see your spell book, and you may have a look through mine, and we can exchange notes.
Yes, please.
Meanwhile, Xanti's just like, oh.
You should,
Wizards!
you
Why
should
did I
really
agree to
teach the spell Speak with Dad.
No. No.
The worst part is she is definitely a high enough level to immediately recognize that the spell is written incorrectly. All right. She'll spend some time with you, going over some spells. We can
Mhm.
discuss that off stream later, so that we don't bog down the time with that. After your spell swapping session, what do you do?
Nantix, I wonder if we can requisition more earmuffs.
Oh, easily. There's a storeroom because this was the resupply hub for the mountain outposts. Yes, there would be earmuffs and other gear like that here.
Of course. Shall we secure some for the team?
Yes, I think that'd be very prudent and wise.
Indeed. Will they charge us for earmuffs and some minor modifications to make the actual muff section be higher for Storm?
Muff section.
I mean, you'd be
don't
hard
know.
pressed to get earmuffs on Storm that make noises, but she'll.
Fine. Don't be able to see the thing we're fighting. Okay.
She'll happily just stand back playing bagpipes.
Until something comes out of nowhere that she can't see and then eats and devours her and we all forget she exists.
Bagpipes.
I still
Bagpipes
think
are loud, but they don't make you suddenly deaf.
summoning an air elemental into the bagpipe bladder, I think, is still a great plan.
It's
I
not bad.
love that plan so much.
I think something can be arranged. Let's there should be a quartermaster still on call. Let's make the requisition now.
Yes. And Ash, if I feel after that conversation I had with Mara that I wanted to acquire some of her spells, then this conversation I'm having with the quartermaster I can use to buy the components to learn the spells.
Yes, yeah. That is more than acceptable.
Thank you.
All right. So, requisitioning from the quartermaster is very easy. Something like earmuffs is something that they would just hand out. They're not going to charge you for it in any way, shape, or form. You
Perfect.
just fill out the required paperwork as usual,
Mm-hmm.
which I imagine Kovac just has backups pre-ready and signed on hand.
As does.
All you have to just do is
Mhm.
fill in the items.
Can Kalan and I roll an initiative to see who has their form ready first?
Yes, you can.
Oh boy. Okay.
I will get you both to
Ooh.
make an insight check.
Any insight? Okay.
So who can
24.
predict it first?
Oh boy, I can't actually beat that. I did get a nat 20 for a total of 21. But I can't beat 24 inside.
I'm trained in insight.
I was going to say intelligence, but you're both, both plus
Mhm.
9, so for your saving throws and
That would have made it
plus
fair.
5 for your checks. Yeah.
So it's
You
just
did roll a natural 20, so I'm kind of willing to give it to Xantix.
Yes.
yeah, fair. I give you a nod of respectful acknowledgement. We acquire our goods.
Hand in the form.
Mhm.
Thank
What?
you. Much appreciated. Yes.
After that
Right,
conversation,
we'll have to modify that one for Storm, because... Because he is face forward. This is an interesting conundrum. I don't know how to actually make these work for her.
I've seen cats and her ears in the past. They are rather sensitive and can change direction, which could occur by impulse. As unfortunate as it is, it would probably be easier to just stuff her ears full of cotton.
I don't know if I'll be able to enchant with that cotton, though. That's the problem. Or I'd only be able to do one. So unless we deafen one of her ears on purpose and then stuff the other one, which I don't want to do, 'cause that'd be
Wow.
unnecessarily cruel, but perhaps necessary.
If I am able to locate the spell blindness, deafness, that could be a workaround for her case.
Actually, that raises a good point. Quartermaster, do you have any scrolls of blindness, deafness, by any chance?
Eyes lows.
I
I'm
just
gonna
saw
go
the image
lows.
again.
I'm sorry, I
I saw
don't have
the
any
heads of the
supply.
faces.
First 2 rolls I rolled a 4 and a 6, and now I rolled a 17.
Oh my god. All I want is a simple second level spell.
I guess it's a very niche smell. Like,
Kinda, yeah.
that's the problem.
I
Like,
can
it's a
respect that.
low level spell, but it's very niche.
Yeah. How long did the conversation with Meryl last? Well, we don't know how
It would-
long the flying round's taking.
Yeah, it would depend on how many spells you try to transcribe and get. You can
Well-
transcribe them fast, but she can't
Mhm.
transcribe back from you fast.
Fair.
She is not an auto scribes.
Who is the ranking officer on call at the moment? Because we should probably try and report at least some of our findings to
At the
as
moment,
an authority.
it is actually Mira is the ranking officer currently here.
Okay.
So at the time of discussing the spells, we would also then...
You're like, so we have encountered this creature. Except we can't recall seeing it.
I don't understand. If you've encountered it, how could you not recall seeing it, and how would you know that you have encountered it?
So, you know me very well, and you know that I don't use my magical tinkering to inscribe random gibberish. Right, we've worked professionally for a few years now. Me coming back in to make reports on that. I made reports with those coins and transcribed this image, and it's the image of the, on my coins in the space of time we stood in a bell tower with our ears deafened. I cannot remember the specifics, but something made me want to write those down, and as you are well aware, I have been suffering some of the same bad dreams as some of the citizens in this town. That is indicating there is something going on, and if there is a creature that is able to somehow block us from seeing it, perhaps in an auditory manner. We have. I guess Ash, the question is, how much do we understand about the brain and the understanding of conscious thought and subconscious thought and that in this?
Probably not that much. Not to the level that we have of today, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You. I'm gonna make a roll. This is gonna need to be a D100 roll. Okay, never mind. Apparently there has been some studies into it. You would know about like lucid thoughts, the concept of one side of your brain dictates, or parts of your brain dictating different parts of your emotions, your actions, and controlling different motor functions and stuff. And the fact that at some degree there is a level of subconscious action while you're sleeping.
And due to the as a learned scholar, you know there was that study done about, I don't know, it was 5-6 years ago, about the idea that our minds subconsciously think and act while we sleep. I mean, I don't know if that works the same with you as you trance, but for the rest of us who have the sleep and we dream, it is nearly not proven 100%, but there is very strong evidence that suggests that the subconscious mind does act. And if our subconscious mind is remembering these things and our body is forced to recognize this, my arm has scripts about warning the Xel'nari about something. And other people are having things written on their arms that are translated to things like, it is here, it is terrifying, there is something going on, something we cannot perceive. And the evidence with our research here is pointing that it is something auditory. This thing, whatever this thing is somehow emitting some kind of sound that debilitates and blinds us to it. Maybe similar in the way that a harpy uses its song to lure its victims into a dullard state, but not as obvious. It would explain why there are people who are reporting that they've gone to do something, but they haven't returned. But they still insist everything is okay.
You've given me much to think about. Give me a moment.
Of course.
And you recognize she does a similar incantation you've seen Mug do before for a sending spell.
Yep.
And there's just a moment of her sitting in silence. And then she kind of blinks for a moment and goes, the archivist is looking into the archives to see if there is any mention of such a creature. He will get back to us shortly. But he does not remember, which is most odd.
Well, neither do we.
Yes. There is some evidence that perhaps it's coming from underground. The Queen has asked our group to investigate the mines. Perhaps we might find something a bit more compelling, a bit than this strange fragmented jottings and such. But something in my gut is telling me there is something very wrong here. And I'm starting to suspect that what I thought happened at the mountain outpost may have just been a prelude to what is happening here now.
That is a concerningly good point, Xantex. We saw a cavern under the camp, holes emerging from the ground.
Yeah, so after you made that report and now seeing these things, it has made me think. The Wyvern attack, it made some sense, but it didn't fully line up. It was infuriating, but that's what I remembered, but it doesn't make sense. Why the holes? Why the...
There have been some reports of uneven surfaces and roads in disrepair. The masons have been fixing them up. They seem to have been popping up at odd places. It is quite possible that that could be in correlation.
Yes, we're gonna have to. We'll go down, we'll investigate and see what we find. I already have a theory on how we might be able to negate this auditory effect. One of Kovek's colleagues is doing the test right now, up in the air with something I theorized might work. And if that works, we have a way of hopefully countering this auditory effect. And if we explore in the mines, we may be able to find out. And if we're fortunate, to be able to stop it.
Something of that magnitude. I will need to report this immediately.
Of course, it's quite disturbing.
A moment. And again, she goes quiet. And then comes out of a stupor for a second. Alright. We have been granted reinforcements. Guildmaster will be sending them through within the hour. They will assist you on entry.
Excellent.
Okay, we're gonna have to figure out. Ash, is there another artificer hall, like available in Tanzanite that works for the Xel'nari, or is it just me? Having reinforcements, we need to figure out other.
Currently, within Tanzanite, it would be just you. There definitely would have been more previously, but they have been dispatched as more and more sightings of the demons have happened and more events are happening. You're currently aware that things are getting pretty stretched thin at the moment with the Xel'nari.
Yes. Furthermore, there were attempts to stop us getting access to the mines, and we're starting to suspect the fiendish influence may be involved here as well.
A thought has just occurred to me. While I was perusing your book, I noticed you have a spell called Legend Lore.
Yes. Quite a useful spell at times. A bit niche, but I am quite a collector of niche spells.
Would you consider the amount of information we have provided for you sufficient to cast the spell?
No, unfortunately, I do not believe that's the way that this would work. If I was to learn the name of the creature, then I could use the spell to understand more about it.
Could not a description simply be sufficient at a stretch? Hopefully?
I'm guessing you can't use the name Dickworms.
No, but
You're not back yet to tell him that.
But
the spell does say name or describe a person, place, or object. We have
yes.
the means of a
Xantix
visual.
does have a very accurate representation of the creature.
Except you don't. You have a
Because
very accurate depiction of like
A part of it.
one fifth of the creature.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's fair.
Of only
She can
one
attempt
head.
it, but it is unlikely to succeed.
Gotcha.
As she is aware from the picture that you've provided that the creature is buried in the ground, so there is more to it than is visible. So there's not enough there for her to make an accurate assumption on what the creature is like for the spell to successfully work.
Just clarifying here, are we under the assumption that one creature or multiple creatures?
You are currently under the assumption of multiple creatures.
Yeah.
But there is presumably enough underground that context is not completely there.
Yes. No. Just
Yeah.
yeah, because I've been hearing it referred to as both, so I just wanted to.
We
Yeah,
know
as
it's
far as
a
you're aware,
creature. The characters
Yeah.
think it is multiple creatures.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is fair.
You would have no reason to think otherwise.
Fair. Well, thank you for calling it in and requisitioning reinforcements. We will be making our move on the mines tomorrow morning.
Very well. The reinforcements will be ready for your command.
Excellent.
I'm going to have to figure out a way to deafen the lot of them, so they'll be able to see this thing.
Perhaps once our airborne team have returned, I can make a late night visit to the planetaria and check their spellbooks.
I would just get the mental image of like Kovac in full like ninja outfit, like reading through books, like oh the spells, with an evil big mustache. You gotta have an evil big mustache.
No,
Don't
Just-
worry, I have enough for both of us.
she will fashion her floppy mohawk into a mustache.
Oh god, we've reached the deranged hour, have we?
We have. Also, us being interrupted while we're talking to Mira might be a good narrative point of interjection for Mug to make.
Yes, I would say that you probably are spending a bit of time talking with her, especially with her stopping to do her sendings and waiting for responses from them. That yes, the rest of the party would be regrouping back in now.
Yeah.
So we head down from the roof, and you were talking to another wizard. Is that?
Yeah.
Yep. Kovac. What would it not? What is it an issue if the guards start using signaling arrows?
What did you do?
Science.
Signaling
yeah,
arrows.
Kovac, you're smart, right? I need you to do some calculations on these papers.
One thing at a time. Signaling arrows are normally used to get someone's attention. Predominantly, they are kept at the coast for during storms to ensure boats don't crash into the shore. They are
I
predominantly
can see the connection there.
for practicality and safety. So I imagine, for whatever reason, their intent was to draw your attention to something. When you looked at them, what were they trying to convey? Was it stop? Was it land?
I think it was land or don't dive bomb our city again.
You did what?
Oh,
As
is
I
that?
said, science.
Why didn't you tell me?
Look, I
Kovac,
Sounds
did,
vibing.
we
I
were
did
kind
see
of
the
in the
thing.
middle of the air.
Yeah.
You could have been watching.
Oh, Samuel, I see you're still wearing the earmuffs. Did they work?
He cannot hear
Right.
you right now.
I just go up and just go like, I just wave in front of his face,
Yep.
in front of your face.
So
Did it work?
we might have to write a letter to the guard. Probably
It
best
worked.
considering recent
Good.
false arrests. That it's probably not best that it's not written by me.
Yes.
So I don't remember seeing anything untoward. Looking over at the wizard and looking back at Kovac and Xantix.
And Storm rolls her eyes. He saw it. Here is the calculations that I cannot make. She hands you a piece of paper that makes no sense to you.
I'll need some context on this later. Sam, I will write on a piece of paper. Why do you still have the earmuffs on, and hand it to them?
You hear in your head, everything's just so much. Plus, if I take, as soon as I take them off. Actually, this is one thing I don't know if we realized it or not. Is the whole thing? So I don't know. I can still remember everything at this moment in time while I keep these on, and I kind of like that. And as soon as I take them off, I'm going to stop remembering.
And you say that to me?
Mentally, yeah.
Hmm.
It was more like my brain had that moment of, did we know if it was like, oh, I'm looking thing. So 'cause I'm not looking at them at the moment at all, so I can still remember everything about them. And I even start
Well,
telling
that proves
things to you,
it is
Kovac.
auditory.
So I started actually talking to Kovac, like, oh yeah, the things, so they burrow. So we need to maybe look for like, and if there's been any reports for any road obstructions or people falling into like untoward holes or tunnels. This is all mentally, I'm talking obviously here. That'd be really cool. Also, those things look awful, absolutely dreadful.
I'll pass this all along to everyone, and I will write down. Yes, we've heard of reports of damaged roads.
Ah,
Yeah, but they are
I have an answer
definitely-
for you.
Yes.
Yes.
The archivist has just received word. He has heard rumors of a creature that may fit the description. He has called it a false hydra.
What a weird name.
And that's where
Dickworm
we're
is
going to
so
end the
much
session.
better.
We
Sam's
will
just
end the
vibing.
session. So yes, you can potentially cast Legend Lore now, having heard the creature's name.
I was just going to ask.
I
if you
think we know his name.
Well, no, Kovac can't cast Legend Lore. The better wizard can cast Legend Lore.
I was about to say it's not a competition, but that would be a lie. It's always a
It's always a
competition.
Dear.
So yes, we will finish up here as it is, just after 10 on the dot, and we will be back next week, hopefully, to continue on, where we will find out exactly what a false hydra is, and what it is capable of, and why, when the party realized what it was, they all collectively hated me.
So the big question is, do we level up before the big fight in some sort of cool training montage? Or after?
It's a montage!
Motherfucking montage.
Well, I mean, that training montage would have to happen before tomorrow morning in the game, seeing as that's when you said you're going in the
Yeah.
mines.
I
It's
want
a
to
very
sleep.
quick montage.
I want to sleep, so I'm going
It's
to
called
montage.
Mont.
the montage is just you.
Just the Taj.
That was the best sleep ever. I feel empowered.
Hey guys,
I am
look at this new
honestly
spell I
not-
can use.
I'm honestly going to try and keep these things on as long as physically possible. Sam really wants to have them like remaining on.
Just remember,
If
at
you're going to
any
put
point in
music into
time,
these now,
Xantix can just remove the sound.
But I'm just going to say he's not going to because he sees how happy you are. And he now knows that the
Sam's just like-
therapeutic theory is true, so he's going to sleep with a pair of them.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. With that, we are finished up for tonight. We're gonna find someone to read.
Mm-hmm.
Who we read? Oh,
I
none of our
know.
usuals are on tonight.
There's someone called Insanity Zans, so I presume ANZ, maybe they might be in Australia, New Zealand, maybe?
Mm.
I don't know. I can't do auditory because I'm hosting streams, so you'll have to look at some streams and let me know. The
Very well.
montage is everyone slowly meeting up at the point of the entrance. Yeah, pretty much. Just super
have a look
dramatically
at
them
that
walking through the
beautiful-
streets and meeting up with everyone.
and just going.
But-
"Chow."
Wait. Reinforcements. I swear to God, if it's that bard.
If it's that bad, that's fine. I'll deal with him.
Well,
Like-
are you worried about the halfling that will probably get eaten and we never have to worry about them ever again?
Oh no, it gets even better. If the halfling gets eaten, we won't remember that he existed.
Damn, I found one that looks really interesting, but they just went on break. Or they've been on break for a little bit, but they are coming
that?
back. Digital Adventuring Party.
Oh,
They're
okay.
pretty
I
good.
found one called CT_Dax. They're doing Wild Mount.
Well, that's
Ooh.
cool.
Can do.
And they've also
Just
only got
have a
10
look.
viewers as well.
Have a look at how long they've been going. We don't want to raid them.
An hour and 30.
Okay, so it's probably
Still
going to be
go
on for a little bit more.
longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're also passionate Australian gamer.
Oh, if they're Australian, then there's a chance that they might not be going for much longer.
Mm,
It says he's Australian. I don't know about the rest.
that's all right. You know what? That's someone new. Let's just make a decision. We'll throw it out there. Let's do it.
Yeah, they're on episode 27. They've got if you watching not quite loads. It's just like I went to R1 and I was like Stormy Dragon Tavern. What? They were there playing D&D. So there's also Mims a lot.
It's all good. I'm happy to give these guys a go. We can always raid someone else
Yep.
next week.
Oh, no, okay. Mims lot just ended, so never mind.
Thank you everyone for hanging
Timing.
out. We will be back next week at the same time to stream again. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm really tired. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Alrighty. We will see you next week, so
Oh.
have fun!